Welcome back to New Realities. I'm Alan Steinfeld, and I am joined today by my good friend Jojo. How do you say your last name again, Jojo?
Michael Isaac.
Michael Lasik. And we have a very special guest today. Tell them who we are
My
interviewing.
dear friend Jon Stetson, who I like to call Jon Superb Stetson. And he is America's master mentalist. He is my Ho'oponopono teacher and teacher for Ascension Together Ho'oponopono classes. And just a delight to have to be in his presence.
All that's pretty good. Being a mentalist and an innovator of Ho'oponopono is, should we start? I'm drawn to the Ho'oponopono because that is such a valuable tool people are using now. And I want to hear the story of how you worked with the guy. What was his name?
Dr. Hewlin.
Dr. Yulin, who I read his story that he did the Ho'oponopono in a hospital for the criminally insane and cured people. Well, talk about your connection to it and how you found Yulin and the whole. And what is Ho'oponopono for people who might not know?
What is it? It is a way of life. It's a fabulous way of life that allows us to continue, to allows us to make things right. That's what the actual translation is, to make things right. I'll start off by saying, hey, nice to be here.
Hey, thank you. Great to have you.
Which actually is part of it, because one of the great things that Dr. Hewlin said, that did you ever notice that whenever anything bad happens, you're there?
Isn't it funny?
It is really funny.
And yeah, I mean, to frame everything, I grew up.
Wait, the reverse is true too, though, right? When anything good happens, you're there.
Yeah, but do people dwell on that? No. You see, I believe that where you are is where it's at. This is the center of the universe right now. Well, it's certainly the center of my universe. No, if this is not the place for me to be, I would say it's been nice, but we have to leave now.
I'm glad you're not saying that just
or
yet.
as my dear friend Jack Goldfinger, who from the Magic Castle in Hollywood, would say, it's been swell, but the swelling's gone down. It's time to leave, Daddy. I'm gone at that point.
That's new material I could use on my upcoming shows.
You've reached Jon Stetson, and I like to feel good.
Oh, this is my phone message that you're talking about.
Oh,
My
yeah.
my phone message, which actually I'm honored because Dr. Dyer
Wayne Dyer.
and used my phone message for himself, which was a mind-blowing honor, actually. And my message is simply this: you've reached Jon Stetson, and I like to feel good. So this calls for any other reason, you have reached the wrong number. Otherwise, leave a message. Now, I actually was challenged after using that for several years by someone saying, don't you feel that's rather hedonistic? And it's like, no, you don't understand what I'm saying. If you've ever read or encountered the book of Mary Magdalene, she never refers to God. She refers to the good. Yeah. And so, as it's been said before, what's the difference between good and God? An O, a zero, nothing. When I feel good, I feel God, is my whole thing. So when I hear James Brown, I'm thinking something completely different than what most people are thinking. When I feel good, when I hear him scream, I feel good. Man, that is just jubilation, celebration, motivation, affirmation, confirmation. All the Asians hang out. Yeah. So I feel
United
good,
Nations is too.
and I want to feel good. Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
what's the deal, Alan? It's our happiness is a total choice. It is a total choice because I'm one of the firm of we cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we react.
Isn't he amazing?
That's reality, isn't reality is not what's out there, it's how you feel about what's out there.
He's taught
Yeah.
me so much this
Yeah.
year about the
And
moment.
here's the thing. people, for the most part, do, because of our egos, we feel that you're in a traffic jam, right? And all of a sudden you go, I don't like this traffic. You're not saying it in those words, probably. You sound more like a longshoreman when you're talking about what's going on, and you have to be somewhere, you have to do somewhere. So essentially what you're laying down is, I do not approve of this traffic. So what?
But that's you're leaving out the emotional response to the traffic.
Oh, I'm getting there, Dad. I'm getting there. You see, because now we are. So what you're saying is, you are morally superior to reality. Our ego does not approve of the reality, and then of course the emotions. Oh, you're right there. Now it's a spice pot with all that, but we don't approve of the reality. And I stumbled across something so great within the last 2 weeks, and Jojo and I continually talk about the concept of divine design.
My favorite.
And how
what does that mean?
Divine design is, Alan is located at a 417.
Okay.
My hotel room when I checked in last night was what?
417.
417.
And so what is the divine design? Is that there's a synchronicity that the universe is talking to us?
Yes,
God's love language.
I've had these great epiphanies popping up that allow me to, I think, explain it in a much easier and more concise fashion. Because if I can understand it, I feel anybody can understand this. Yeah. There's a great woman who runs a place called Crystal Cave in Sarasota, Florida. It's a magnificent place, and she has a great group of people who are in there, like-minded thinkers, and but like myself, with a foot in each camp. I do not deny my inner jerk that got me here. I lived on bug juice and barbed wire till I was 50. I am a miracle. I am a miracle baby. The fact that I'm still alive is incredible, but there's a reason for it, as I've been finding out, and I've been humbled. But this woman's a mutual friend said, Sue's in crisis. You really have to get to her today. So I immediately got to her, and she spoke about she goes, I got to work about 5 minutes late this morning, opening my store 5 minutes late. Waiting for me was, and then she spoke of a friend of ours. She goes, his doppelganger. This man was an intuitive. He was just a wonderful, he's a wonderful guy. And Sue is like, I can't get over the exact double. Sounds like him, walked like him. You can imagine him wearing the same clothes. He was there for about 2 hours and spent, about $1,500 worth of, rocks, which where the similarities ended between Dave and this other guy. And they talk and blah, blah, blah. So Sue is now feeling remiss that she's not spoken to her friend Dave in a year. So she immediately reaches out. Now, she didn't get a response, but later that afternoon, she received another communique from a mutual friend saying, I feel that you need to know that Dave died this morning at 10 o'clock, that David so-and-so died at 10 o'clock. So she's experiencing this the moment that he dies. And she goes, I'm so freaked out. I'm so freaked out. I'm so freaked out. It's so weird. It's so weird.
The guy was actually physical in form, showed up after he died at this woman's shop.
Well, this is the whole thing. So this is where she's freaking out. And she goes, that's so weird. And then it just hits me. I go, no, that's not weird. Everything else is weird. Mm-hmm. That's the way everything is. That's how connected everything is. And you have to have faith. My favorite card in a tarot deck is the Fool, because the Fool is open to all, ready to take that step. As a matter of fact, I am through a meditation, I had this wonderful idea well, look at me. I have a great idea. No, but it's like this thing is going to be a celebration of the fool and all of the wonderful, and it's going to be, hey, get this, April Fool's Day. And this is going to be a big, huge thing. I'd love to come on and talk to you about some other time.
You could come on and talk to me about anything, anytime, because you're knowledgeable and entertaining, two of my most important factors. Yes.
I learned it from watching you. Okay.
All right. Something.
You're just
what I said in the commercial where the kid learned to smoke pot. I learned it from watching you. Anyway, but see, and here's the cool part. People use the word coincidence, and language is so incredibly important. People use the word coincidence, and when the average person speaks of coincidence, I think they're really talking fluke. Coincidence, hey, here's point A, point B, somewhere in the universe. Straight lines emerge and they coincide. That's a fluke? No, that's divine design. That's the way everything is. So
wait. Everything is that, but we don't always see it until it it's like a wave. It surfaces and boom, we see the design, and then it goes back and
here it is now. Oh God, you are the mind reader because you knew just what was coming next. What was coming next is simply this: that everything is like. Remember those magic eye paintings from the 80s and the
I 90s? Love them. I still practice that. Yes.
And for anybody watching who may not remember these or know of them, they're these sort of abstract looking designs, and people sit there, and people would sit there like, I don't see it.
Right.
I don't see it. I see it. I see it. I see it.
Exactly.
So this is the beautiful thing. Everything is like that.
Everything is you don't see
until you do.
Until Emerson had a quote like that too. Everything remains brute and unknown until a higher revelation comes through. That was
exactly. My man. Yeah. Boy. Yeah. Young people learn from the
layers of enlightenment.
So everything's like that on the spiritual journey. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, not just spiritual journey. I think that's the way everything is. Right. And when we look at it like that, I love this expression. And when I speak, I still do my corporate presentations. I do show. I mean, I do a lot. I'm still in the middle of everything that I've always done because I've never been happier in my life than I am right now, despite the wacko, weird, wild period I've just come through, as we all have.
Right.
But here's the thing: I like to point out what I call a blinding glimpse of the obvious, because once you see it in the painting, you can't not see it.
That's why I say about UFOs. Once you see them, they're in your consciousness.
Yeah. And I'm of the Rumi world. Have a mind that's open to everything and attached to nothing. And when I was, I had such a great, I had such a great time, Ellen, listening and devouring your talk when I was in the room. I love the way you present you, and I love the all the research and the knowledge and the everything, because I have we talk about skeptics and all of this stuff. Now, I used to I am totally down with the late JC. I love, and of course all the ascended masters as great spiritual leaders, who I think must have been such incredible, charismatic, wonderful people, to drop your net and follow. Wow, But anyway, I had a little thing last week. The amazing Randy has something in common with Jesus.
Oh, really? He would never admit that, though. You know that.
Oh, I know, which is the best part.
Is he still around, the amazing Randy? Because he hasn't been.
He has left this mortal coil, but he's still around. Okay. Whether he believes it or not. But I used to have this T-shirt. This T-shirt when I was a kid, and then it says, "Jesus, save me, Jesus, from your followers." Right. That's the way I feel about Randy. Randy was an okay guy with his opinions and stuff, but it's his
Did you know
followers.
him personally? Did you
Oh
know
yeah.
Rand? Oh,
Oh
did he
yes.
try to debunk you?
No, he no, he was fine.
Okay.
He was fine. He would come to my shows and enjoy the fact that, you know, they're celebrations of just joy in life and the art and the performance art. Sorry, I don't want to use the A word, but you know, the just for what it was and what it is truly meant to be. And you know, I still speak fluent sarcasm and cynicism. I have that club in my bag in case I need to play that hole.
I grew up speaking that, you know, in New York. You have
Yeah.
to learn that language. Yeah.
Oh yeah, to survive.
Yeah. Yeah.
To survive. And you know, people say, like, when you read personality types, to that it allows us to communicate so much better with people and go, oh, that's manipulative. No, it's not. It's going to France and learning to speak a little French. It allows us to get our points across and to communicate.
But it also can be used to get people to do or plant a seed to. It can be used as manipulation. If you,
It
I mean,
can be.
can
It
be.
can be, you know, based on your.
Well, in therapeutic models, we call it neuro-linguistic programming,
Right.
and it's beneficial.
It can be used to benefit people, of course,
Oh,
too.
most definitely. The same thing with the word, like we just spoke of coincidence, right? Oh,
Right.
people, you know, thinking fluke. Now, what about the word conspiracy?
To breathe
Doesn't-
together.
That sends. That gives us a thing, right? Okay. Well, Jojo and I have been planning your surprise birthday party, Alan.
Really?
That's a conspiracy, and I don't think it's an evil one.
That's
No,
right.
you're right. Thank you for conspiring in
So you
that.
can conspire for something wonderful. And it's a point that I that started me on this was how things come when they're supposed to. And that's a great thing about the magic eye things. They go, well, when am I going to see it? When you're supposed to.
Hmm.
So now I don't stress it. I'm gonna understand it when I'm supposed to. I'm not, even when people talk about intuitive work and people say, "What does it help if you do this?" No, it doesn't help if you do that. Just let it go and let it flow, and it's all going to be natural. It's all going to be happen. You're going to be like the first lobster in the trap that looked over the shoulder and went, "Oh Jesus, I could have walked out of here the whole time. There's no back on this thing."
Yeah, the
Oh my!
allegory
If
of the
only,
cave.
if only
Yeah.
Freddie knew. Oh my God, he'd still be with us. But but the thing is, but this Dalai Lama thing that came to me, that I have been using so much in the last 2 weeks because it was given to me and we need it so much right at this moment, is I learned for real that I am an optimist.
You didn't know that before.
Well, now I have the Dalai Lama's definition of an optimist. And an optimist is not someone who denies reality. You know, so many people think, oh, if someone thinks everything's lemonade and lollipops and, you know, Birkenstocks and bongos, peace and love and all this, you know, I mean, hey, yeah. But, you know, see, this is why I've got like a foot in all worlds.
No, that reminds me of the definition of a cynic. A cynic is someone who knows the price of everything and the value of nothing.
Yes. And my thought about skeptics, right?
Right.
I love skeptics, seekers of proof and truth, real skeptics. A skeptic may have an open mind. What I loathe are cynics who masquerade as skeptics. They test.
So that gets us back to the amazing or the unamazing Randy.
Yeah, I'm a skeptic. No, you're not. You're a jerk, man. You're not open to anything. You don't understand. You know, you won't.
They've already made their decision.
That's right.
Exactly. And then they get militant. I have some of the most spiritual people I know were members of the skeptic camp. And everything they tell me, I go, oh my gosh, you're such a spiritual person, such a spiritual being. But yet that's, you know, we're looking at it from just from all these different points of view.
That's right.
And which
Right.
is kind of gets us back to the whole Hooponopono, but the optimism thing, in case someone is actually watching us and they go, what's he going to say? What did the Dalai Lama say?
I want to know what you're going to say. I want.
What did he say? He said this: an optimist is not someone who denies reality. It's someone who is continually motivated to find solution when problems arise.
Flow.
Wait, let me take that in.
Please
So
do.
it's being a realist
Mm-hmm.
and projecting possible realities that may
Oh,
occur.
And I
solution.
translated tapping into flow instead of resistance when you're posed with any situation.
Yeah, let's something happens, and as we were talking about before, the traffic. This is something everybody can relate to. Okay, if someone is waiting for me, or I have a program or a flight or something, there's absolutely nothing I can do at that time to make.
Come on, you're a mentalist. You can make it happen, right?
I'm a wizard, man. We can do these things,
But you
know
can't
what?
change the traffic. Okay.
No, but I can change this.
That's right.
I can shift this. I can call you and say, Ellen, here's the deal. I am stuck in traffic. I cannot be on for this YouTuber right now, but this is what we can do. These are the solutions, blah, blah, blah. I could, I'd be more than happy to do this from my car with an audio thing. And maybe you put a great picture of my dog, who's my spiritual leader, up on the thing, and you could be looking at her, and or something. I'm coming up with a solution for you, not just for you, for me. How can I use that time in traffic?
But let me ask you something. You talk about realism, but a realist just sees the reality that they know. Like the magic eye is a perfect example. Well, I don't see anything. That's just a bunch of blah. That's their reality. And then, so how do you, in everyday life, shift to the deeper, like, oh, right, there's more.
Well, part of that is the concept of Hooponopono, the modern concept of Hooponopono, how it can be used for everything always. And like so much in life, people say, oh no, I have to commit to this program. I have to commit, for example, when you're looking at, say, your meditation. Your meditation is so important. I was speaking with a great friend and teacher who you must do a program with here. His name is James Mapes. He is a magnificent guy. And I'm speaking to my friend and teacher, James, and we're talking about meditation. And I'm talking about, well, it's just so hard for me to rationalize sometimes, because I always considered my meditation to be a reward for life, a reward for the slings and arrows. And he just goes, hey, schmuck, no, the meditation is your work.
It is life too.
It is life. It's your work. When you meditate, you are able to do your work. It enables it to happen. It brings it all together. It is essential. It is the core of your work. So it's not just a thing. It's not an ice cream cone at 3:00. It's a whole different thing. And the Hooponopono can bring me to a sort of a meditative place, but a place of reality. And the thing I love about our practice is one of the great things I love about the Baptists. I'm very serious now. To be a Baptist, essentially there's one question. Do you accept Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior? Well, no. Well, yes or no. You're in or you're out.
Mm-hmm.
And in Hooponopono, the key essential thing that we need to understand is that we are responsible for everything in the universe. What? I'm responsible for COVID? I'm responsible for Yes, you are.
Yes.
Because the universe, in our practice, the question, where does the universe exist? Where does it exist? It exists inside of us.
Mm-hmm.
The two of you are sitting on the couch here, looking at a screen right now, seeing the same thing, but from slightly different perspectives. And the two of you, that's funny. I'm just looking at the two of you go, combined experience between the two of you, what I know about both of you and everything, how you've lived your amazing, wonderful lives and gotten to the place where you are now. I mean, once again, the three of us are a series of miracles. The fact that
everyone watching is too. Then,
Amen.
yeah, that we got to this point now, knowing what's gone down. But yeah, here we are in this magnificent place. But the universe only exists inside of me. What I think is real. And if we were on a desert island and had no news or knowledge of COVID, it wouldn't exist. There would be no such thing as COVID.
Right.
And so we could talk about the levels of the mind. We can cut into Hooponopono sometimes if you want, but I just want for the average viewer here to kind of
I think what you're saying is so important. It goes exactly with the theme I've been developing for 20 years, new realities. What is the nature of reality? And you're giving us the gems here, Jon. So
that's what it is. And so we are a bottomless pit of experience, of knowledge, of anything that we've ever seen, tasted, touched, felt. Whatever's happened is inside our data and our memory. Whatever we see anywhere, it triggers something from our data and our memory, which is our subconscious mind. This is the mind that's truly driving the bus. The conscious mind is like, remember, Jojo won't remember, but Ellen, when we were kids, they would have car seats for kids that were the last thing they were safe. And then they'd put like a little plastic steering wheel so the kid would think it's driving the
I had one of those. I loved doing that. Driving with my father. We turn the wheel. It's like, yes, psychically we were turning the car with the person.
Didn't we feel we were in control?
Absolutely. I love that.
That's the conscious mind. Now, the conscious mind has purpose. Don't get me wrong. But that's what the conscious mind is where it's at. As far as
it reminds me of that story of Terence McKenna. Did you ever know Terence McKenna's work?
I know I'm familiar with the work, but what's the story?
He looked at a log in a river, and there's all these ants going back and forth across the log, and he says they think they're steering that thing. So it's like the illusion of the realities that we think we're, but you're saying two different things. You're saying, well, we create the reality, but we're really not in control of
we're not in control of what happens in front of us, right?
Thank you.
So, yet we are responsible for it because it's in our conscious. For example, I'm living in a big, giant, rambling, sacred space now here, since my wife passed, with myself and my dog. And now, if I spill ink on the white carpet in my office, chances are really good Olive is not going to clean it up. She has other stuff to do. However, that ink
Olive was your wife? Is that
the dog?
The dog.
That's the dog.
I didn't know how metaphysical you were getting. Okay.
Well, no, but my wife and I have never gotten along better. And my friends understand that that's just the truth, and it's wonderful. But so my dog's not going to clean up that stain. That stain is going to remain there until I clean it up, and that stain is going to bug me one way or another until it gets taken care of. And that's what happens when we see these things that are presented to us. We become responsible for everything because we are aware of it. We know it is there. Who's going to come clean it up? Nobody. So you are the general manager of your universe. JoJo's universe is different than yours and it's different than mine. And that's the only place the universe exists, is inside
of us. We have to clean it up even if we don't spill the ink, because it's in our reality.
No, it's there. And if we don't spill the ink, right, we still have sub reactions, triggers, I guess, they'll say, and other kind of things to it. So what we Now, when I say cleaning, I don't mean just cleaning up the ink stain. We talk about cleaning and clearing memory and data that arrives to a situation. So am I responsible for the actual fact that there is COVID, that COVID is real? No. What I'm responsible for is my reaction to it.
Well, let's take a practical situation. Right now, there's war, Russia, Ukraine. It's in our reality. So in a way, we're responsible for that on
So
some
we're
level.
totally responsible for it.
How do we clean it up in our reality, in the bigger reality, which is our reality?
Okay. What we are cleaning on is our reaction to it. You would allude earlier to the emotions and the reality of the traffic jams, for example, right? Of how we get emotionally wrapped up in things. A lot of things with Hooponopono, to me, it's not a, unfortunately, on one level, it's in case of emergency, break glass for some people. Okay, there's a problem. I gotta clean and clear on it, right? Okay, I mean, you can use it for that, and it's all right. Everything's all right. But I am cleaning and clearing on my reactions and my emotions to it. I can't control that, but I do have some say, and I can. And if I sit here and I clean and I clear through our Hooponopono mantra or prayer or whatever you want to call it, it does. Hooponopono is self-healing. It's a self-healing thing that allows me to heal others and the vibe of healing the world. I'm also a TMer. I grew up a TMer, which I think saved me through a lot of
But let me just ask you though about the Ho'oponopono. And so if you clear up your reaction to the war, saying, "Oh, okay, I'm not reacting to," it doesn't change the fact, or does it, that there's still
it does
Russia?
change it.
It does change it.
It does change
Okay.
it because as we do all this, I believe as I'm doing the mantra and the prayer, I'm healing someone in Africa. I'm allowing someone in Africa to heal. I should say, I'm not healing them. We're making things right. Hooponopono, ancient Hooponopono was to settle disputes between.
Dr. Hugh Lin's story is a perfect example.
Hugh Lin, talk about because that's what turned the world onto Ho'oponopono. That was miraculous, and I think, and you knew him. I feel like I'm 1 degree away from greatness.
Well, I don't pretend to. We didn't like go roller skating and stuff, but
you knew him.
I was in his presence.
Well, that's good enough for me. That's your reality. Now it's my reality.
I was in his presence, and yeah, it is. You see, now
Tell
you're
the story, but because that is
Okay.
miraculous.
This is something that I heard, and actually, Joe Vitale, who really
Joe Vitale.
who really served purpose with Dr. Hewlin, because he really made many people aware of the doctor and Hooponopono and the doctor's incredible work. Now, the story
And he was in The Secret. For people who may recognize that name, he was in the movie The Secret.
He was in the movie The Secret. He has
Joe Vitale was, yes.
many great programs and ideas and things that have just served and helped many. Many
so
people.
tell us that story, because it's fantastic.
Okay. The doctor was
Dr. Yulin.
Dr. Hewlin was someone he is a has all these degrees in psychology, and he was a therapist, technically a therapist, et cetera, in all things Western medicine. And he went to hear to someone who was modernizing Hooponopono. Matter of fact, the first time he went, he left. He didn't stay. And went back again another time, and then it clicked, and then his magic eye painting, I see it. Right.
Did
Now,
he learn with the woman who, what was her name? Mora? Was it
yeah,
Mora?
yeah,
I had
yeah,
my old girlfriend studied with Mora and learned the long process of the Ho'oponopono.
yeah,
But so
yeah. So
you,
the doctor was a student of hers,
yeah.
um, and he practiced the Ho'oponopono, the cleaning and the clearing. I'm hesitant to say prayer because I don't want to turn people up, but we call it is the Ho'oponopono prayer, but you could say the mantra, the ritual, the whatever it is, the constant cleaning and clearing on stuff. Now, the doctor was in a hospital. He was hired to be an administrator at a prison for at a time what they would call the criminally insane. Whatever terminology was used, where there were people were in restraints. The amount of medicine being prescribed was mind-boggling. The patients were many of them were violent. Nobody wanted to work there. It was an unpleasant workplace. They could not keep people working. When people went to work, they didn't like being there. They would have to walk around with their backs to the wall for fear that let's just put it like that, right? The physical property itself was beaten. I mean, they would, if they did paint something, the paint wouldn't paint. Plumbing problems, things, and the difference between sacred space and not the beaten up environments. And I have a lot of stuff on that.
This was in Hawaii that he was in this hospital.
This was
As was he a therapist or just some?
He was an administrator.
Uh,
He did not see them. He did not see the patients individually.
wow.
He would physically see their presence, but he did not sit down and work with them, right? He did his job, and then he went to work. I mean, the administration, they knew he was a Ho'oponopono guy. And of course, in Hawaii, there's a different level of consciousness, I believe, with people. And basically, he would do his job, and then he would clean and clear over the records of these people, the information.
When you say clean and clear, it means you're doing the statements of a Ho'oponopono as a process of energetically clearing yourself and the others. That's what you mean by clean and clear?
That's it. We clean and we clear. And so he did this over everything, right? Over everything.
Over the records of the criminally insane.
Exactly.
He would say, do you want to talk about what that prayer is?
I will, but let me finish what happened here first.
Okay, sure. You're a good storyteller. I always want to tell the punchline first, and it's like you really are a storyteller and a good one. I mean,
it's like, my late wife, rest her soul, she was, hey, tell them the joke where at the end they say, how did I know? How was I to know it was the mayor's daughter? So,
thanks, honey.
And we all know that.
Yeah. Anyway, I know, but you're good because it's like you're pulling us in. We're hanging on every word. We're listening to and that's perfect. I love it.
And so, these would also deal with the people who worked there. And then, so they had, different degrees of training and whatnot. And then, of course, dealing with prison administration and all this kind of stuff. So he's the guy, he was the, the conduit, the guy in charge of making things right. Mm-hmm. Through Ho'oponopono, he was there for 4 years. In the time he was there, by the time he left, the amount of medicine being given to these patients dropped 70% I believe. Miraculous. There was no use of restraints. People began enjoying working there. They were having less the patients, inmates, whatever. It was a whole different level of, and there were less and less people there.
And talk about structurally too, what was happening. Infrastructure.
Yes. All of a sudden, it becomes sacred space. The paint would be vibrant. The plumbing was fixed. They even changed the facility itself, and people wanted to work there and enjoyed work there. And actually, you would hear people laughing in the hallways instead of shrieking and moaning and yelling in fear and all of this kind of thing. He left, and I believe it was about 4 or 5 months afterwards, the ward didn't exist anymore.
Mm.
This was all through his work. Joe Vitale came to it at a different point than I did, but we came from the same point of that's bullshit.
Oh, you didn't believe that even happened, huh?
For the most, of us, it's a hard story to swallow. First of all, don't you want to know more about it? I mean, when you hear, hey, there's an amazing guy who allegedly did this, and your first instinct with most of us, because of our data and our memory, is like, oh, this can't. This isn't that. I don't.
It's not true.
I don't see it. Right, with the painting. And sorry, go ahead.
There's people like that all the time. I say, we are being visited. There's things in the sky, and they go, no, you're hallucinating. It's the same thing, life after death, reincarnation, all the buzzwords, I would say. They're not believed until
NDEs.
Until NDEs, yes, until they are, boom, they are. So yeah.
And
so,
that is so beautiful that it's
how did you get to be convinced? How did you finally see the 3D images or the 4D images of Dr. Yu?
By practicing. And I was one of those, in case of emergency, break glass practitioners. I would only use it when I felt there was a fire that needed to be put out, before it became the fiber of my existence, of my being. I liken it so oftentimes to something bad's going on and I'm reacting to it. Now, do I still have moments? Absolutely. We're all flawed. We all have this thing. We all can get poked in a different way.
But what was the moment of conversion or revelation or seeing the light?
The fact that I survived everything that went on through COVID. Divine design. COVID was a wonderful thing for me because my wife had a degenerative brain disease. I was a guy who was on airplanes, 200 days a year. I was grounded. I couldn't go anywhere. I had to be here where I was supposed to be. Just the two of us, learning to become a functioning adult at 60, at 59, to deal with these things. Due to the nature of my partnership, I was with this person for 40 years. She was a counter wiper. Talking about the yin and the yang, and she allowed me to go and do all this and do everything that I do, and have my career go the way it went. I could not have done it without her. Her enabling me. See, enable too. They're an enabler. I was enabled to succeed. But
no, let's talk about, keep going back to that cleaning and clearing and how that actually
I was so depressed. I was so down. I was so hurt by the reality of watching her die every single day, not just for the 5-year period, but realizing, oh, it began long before that with her. I can't change this reality. This is my reality. This is real. As I'm watching, I love my country, but I live in my country. And did I lose every nickel I had saved all those years? Yes, I did. Wow. Was I treating my home as a sacred space? I was not. I carved out a sacred space on my porch, which has now developed into my entire home here. People go, "Oh, when are you going to leave the house?" I go, "Never." I mean, I'm good unless, I don't know, maybe tomorrow, but maybe never. I don't know. I don't know. I'm so in the moment. So my whole thing came from it got to be my practice of Hooponopono and my other meditation. The Tabasco on the top is and all the spice are the 4 agreements. On this side, the need to be totally self-aware about everything, and on this side, it is going along with the laws of nature. That, and if you want to explain, my core spirituality really easy, that's where it is. Everything else is around that and about being present in here and now. That's the entire thing for me.
Well, the Ho'oponopono helped you deal with what was happening to your wife and your feeling about it.
Yeah, it allowed me to work to discover kind of my inner shaman as well, to wake up the abilities that not only I have, I think everybody has. We're all capable of doing miraculous, wonderful, fabulous things. There's nobody on the planet, or I'm going to say in the universe, that I can't learn. Well, of course, the universe only exists here, but that I can't learn from. Right. That I can't accept, that I can't do this. So Hooponopono is not like, oh, turn that frown upside down. No, it's not that. It's not that. It's not that. It's learning to deal with everything that's around you. It's making things right. It's self-healing, because as we know, a healer doesn't heal you. A healer clears space in yourself to heal. I'm clearing space in myself for me to heal. And when I'm hearing a situation or a story about your life where something happened, whether it be a tragedy, whether it be a thing, you say, prior to this conversation, Alan, you had no idea that I went through a thing with my wife.
Had no idea. No.
Right. So all of a sudden, that becomes your responsibility because it's in your universe.
What do I do about it if it's my response?
You clean on it. And this is what we do. The
base. You've already cleaned it for us, haven't you?
Well, I'm in a constant state of cleaning and clearing, but you're hearing it. So, okay, give me just one example as a therapist of some type. Okay, I do individual energy alignment sessions with people, and I love it because I learn as much about myself and in the course of helping others. And I absolutely adore it. But if someone comes to you now, JoJo in particular, because with her incredible work, if someone comes in and says what their issue is, what they want to be reprogrammed, or they need the reprogramming kind of thing, all of a sudden it becomes JoJo's responsibility because she's now aware of it. However, sometimes we have our reactions because we're human. I'll give you this really happened. A friend of mine saw a client who he's become very friendly with, and it's very tough, when you get to that line of the friendship and the whatnot, because I call it a lust of result. You want such great results for them that it couldn't possibly cloud your ability to do things properly. Like a heart surgeon, it's not recommended they operate on their children. If you know where I'm going on that. But he was saying this woman came in, and she is a magnificent person. She's funny. She's successful. Has a great sense of style. Very, physically attractive woman. She cannot stay in a relationship to save her life. And when she calls for appointments, it's constantly, oh, I've got to come in. And so now she's going to show a photo of somebody and says, what are your thoughts on this person? Inside of him, he goes, probably the same thing that happened to the last 12.
Mm-hmm.
It's you ever notice whenever anything bad happens, you're there. So it's something that needs to be tooled and cleaned and cured in that person. As we talk, what breaks up more, first or second marriages? Well, second marriages, because you can't divorce yourself. I've totally adopted the thing now when someone upsets me, or someone, I go, there's something about that person that I don't like about me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is how I see it now. Hooponopono has allowed me to get to that point in life. So what he has to do when my friend, who wants to do a session with this person, he has to clean on his own response. So he's not cleaning on that situation. He's going, that was me. That was my way of thinking that, oh boy, history will repeat and blah, blah, blah. And I know it's going to happen and da, da, da. No, you don't. But this is the reaction that you have and that you feel. And it's not insincere, and it's not mean, and it's not cruel. It is just what comes out of your data, because it's cat in the hat time down there. It's shooting up things. Does it shoot up good stuff? Yeah. But when we clean, the good stuff stays. The bad stuff goes away. The prayer is...
Yeah, the prayer, the cleaning.
Yes.
Because, we could talk for hours. I think we have another half hour, which is fine. But I want to have you back like I was a regular guest, because we are just scratching a surface of reality that is...
Is there any more room on that couch?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. But no, keep going, because I am enjoying every moment.
Here's the deal. The prayer is, and it is simply this. Basically 10 words. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Thank you. I love you.
And this is what you, Lynn, did in the criminally insane hospital, looking at talk about that. He said it as if he was those people.
Yeah.
How did it happen?
Yeah. When people would come to him, not in the hospital, but in other places for individual sessions, quite often, nothing would be said. He would sit, he would hear, and he would sit, and he would clean, and he would clear, basically in silence with you.
You do it. Did he do it once? When you're clearing, you'd say, "What is it? I'm
sorry. I'm
sorry.
Forgive me.
Please forgive me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love you."
I love those.
That is, and I'll break them down. But the intent of it too can be consolidated into one word or one image or one thought to run through your mind. When we spoke of physical buildings before and treating things as a sacred space, I have a neighbor who's my magnificent friend of my dog, and she's a little tough on the outside, She has a soft candy center, and I adore her. And she goes, I don't go for all this woo-woo stuff so much. I'll listen, but you did something in this house and it feels like a home again. Right. And part of that was, as I was through the Hooponopono, I actually had a real live living demon in my house, which we should talk about on another day.
Okay.
Because this is real, and people deal with this all the time, and demons are with us on this earth. But anyway,
I believe that. There's negative and positive energy.
Duality.
And then they're a demon.
Right. That is another show. Yes.
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 So, so when I work, and I spent so much of my life in hotel ballrooms, because that's where they would have a corporate event, a private event, sometimes a public speaking event, all take place in these rooms. Can you think of a more beat up environment than one of those rooms? A room that has had less love in it. Right now, even as I say about it, I hear those big tables going gunk on their side, or unk, and the legs coming and putting it in, and people yelling at each other, and this, and crummy sound and acoustics, and stuff, and things, and stress and yelling. Oh, and then the event happens. Weddings. Oh yeah, where families just come together because they love each other. No, you're dealing with a bunch of people who share DNA, who in most cases, there's this and this, and in work. Oh, I'm stressed out. They're going to downsize. They're going to do this. Why does this get this promotion? Why does this get the politics of who's where and what and everything? And these rooms are beat to hell. So I give the room, from the a little more shamanistic too, is I give the room a name in my head. Hello, George. It's okay for me to come in and do my thing. And then I clean. I if I'm not doing the actual prayer, I do my one word or visualization thing. I walk in, and guess what? Things are better.
When you're cleaning,
Mental saging.
right? But the cleaning process, you can. When I've done it, I've tapped in, and I felt like I have to do this again, and I do it a couple of times until you feel the clearing. Is that true, or you just do it once?
Well, yeah. You see, the rules are great because there's no rule. It's so simple, and getting back to the Baptists and the one question: do you accept responsibility for everything? Yes, I do. Okay, you're in for real, and the process continually goes on. And when it becomes like anything else, part of the fiber, it's, Doug Henning, who I knew, we could talk about him for a whole show too. He would say that the difficult must become habit. The habit must become, difficult must become easy. The easy must become habit, and the habit must become magic. When you're going through. So yeah, is there a little thing? Yeah, there's a little thing.
Because there's vibrational frequency attached to each of those sayings, can you break it down for Alan and the viewers to understand what vibration we're emanating as we're saying each part?
That's good. Thank you, JoJo.
Yeah. Well, JoJo's known me long enough that I have a tendency to you see, I'm ADD, but I'm also OCD, which means I want to wash my hands 30 times a day, but I lose interest after the third time. I see a new shiny balloon floating by, and I'm all over that.
What happens when you're ACD and OCD? ADD, OCD. That's good.
You want to wash your hands 30 times a day, but you lose interest after the third time. So it's a very, but more of us are like that than not. But JoJo, she goes, oh, here he goes. Okay. JoJo's like one of those people who has the tether for the floats in the Macy's Day Parade. She we're
the anchor.
Yeah, that's right. Carrying us.
Well, that's a good suggestion what JoJo did, and I'd love to hear more. But the big question is, and I'm like you, the skeptic, how is it possible to heal the criminally insane when you're sitting alone in your office?
He's going to explain the vibration.
Okay, but do you know why people would be skeptical of that?
Of course, I was.
I'm saying I believe it happened. I just find it incredible.
Too far-fetched. This is yet another of what I call a spiritual speed bump. Something that totally tests my stuff. It's like I'm going, oh, come on. I grew up, so much of my life was spent in comedy. And comedy all comedy comes from pain. You ever meet a normal comedian? No, there's nothing but neuroses and weirdness and stuff. And back in the old days, late 70s, early 80s, we're working all these places, Yuck Yucks and the Laugh Factory and Laugh Shack and Ho-Hos and Ding Dongs and all that. The most dark, horrible, ugly places on the planet, such bastions of negative energy. And I will still work some clubs now, because just to see, obviously, it's like a cruise ship. I'll still work on a cruise ship just to make sure I still can, and relate. But I have a home nightclub. It's at the casino in Connecticut, Mohegan Sun, and I appear there on a regular basis. And I clean and I clear before I walk in there. I do it before I walk in anywhere. I do it before I walk in the supermarket. I stop. I go, okay, I do it. And if I'm doing it, I do it in the car. And then I kind of do it as I'm walking through. I am protected now. I'm totally insulated in airports. The most ugly, horrible, nasty petri dish of stuff and the planes. Do you want to sit in a seat where some of those people have been sitting? Not just on the plane, but in the airport. You're sitting in a big pile, a big bowl of negative energy and fear and pain and all of this. No, these are the places where I can sit. Yeah, I'll have the buds in a little bit, but they're way down volume wise. And generally they're not even on, or if I am, I'm listening to a book or something. I'm walking through, I'm doing my thing, and I'm bulletproof. Because let's face it, in the airports, you see, it's a never ending hurdle race through people's shit. So
yes, break it down. Yes.
I am sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
No, that's the first one.
Okay, that's the first one. Okay, I thought you were sorry about whatever. Okay,
straighten your ass out too.
Okay, you're sorry. Okay, you're sorry.
No, I am sorry. You know why? Because I am sorry. For what? Everything bad. I am sorry for what's taking place in Russia. A real short digression. A brother of mine, not a blood brother, but my brother and his wife got out of the Ukraine on Saturday night, losing millions of dollars and things and stuff, but they got out. And boy, you think there might have been a little bit of cleaning on my side? Yeah, I think so. They were so in the fore of my psyche and my sole intention. I'm not claiming any responsibility for them getting out, but I was all over that like a big dog. And so were so many other people that I know and I've shared and I've taught the practice to. Yes, it contributes. Yes, it heals. Yes, it helps. It is the power of prayer. It's all of this rolled into one smelly sock. Anyway, I am sorry. Our good friends at the Church of Rome call it atonement, right? Mm-hmm. I am sorry for the whole dealio. You see, what we want to do is we want to receive divine inspiration. Divine inspiration is pure. Divine inspiration is when I have ideas in my meditation, for example, that will come to me and I go, whoa, I don't know when, if I would have thought of it some other time, but boy, it came to me now because I'm clean and clear to receive divine inspiration. Now, what stops us from receiving divine inspiration? The thoughts and the memory and the data. It's like clogging it all up. They used to have those cartoons for the Roto-Rooter, right? Your drain is clogged.
You can do this for things as well. I think I found like a pot on the street, like, a little pan to cook in. It was a nice pot, but I took it home and it felt unclean. I did those prayers over this object and somehow it felt different.
It does.
It goes to the water memory. The water memory, right?
Yeah.
When we're emanating a certain frequency and vibration to matter, it changes the elements. It changes the energetic vibration, and vibration is infinite. So when you're sending something out, there is no end, right? Yeah. So we see this with water having memory, with your chakras feeling a lightness because it is expanding and becoming lighter.
Yeah. So I am sorry.
Yes.
Okay. I'm putting it out there. So I am speaking to the divine. And I'm speaking to myself, and I'm speaking to you guys, and I'm speaking to the universe. But where does the universe exist? In me. So, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'm sorry.
What does that mean to be sorry for something? Is that what?
Because everything is my responsibility.
But what's the word sorry? Just break down that word sorry. Means we feel bad. I mean, how do we define sorry?
We're apologizing for it.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not like I'm sorry. I'm a sorry person. No, I'm apologizing for everything in the universe. I'm in me, because that's where it exists. I'm apologizing for all this crap. I'm apologizing for the bad. I'm apologizing for Croatia. I'm apologizing to the Russian people, because they are suffering as much as the people in Croatia right now. We forget that the Russian people have no they don't like this guy. There was a war veteran, a woman war veteran, 90 something, from the Second World War, who was just thrown in prison for protesting this. Children are being thrown in.
So you're sorry. I'm sorry for, as being the center of this universe. We're emanating humbleness, forgiveness.
Yes. Yes.
Atonement. Yes.
Yeah. Atonement. So forgive me. I'm speaking to the divine. I'm talking to God. Or whatever whatever you think it is, right? And whatever you think it is, it is. You know, if there is no God, well, you're right. Do you think if you don't believe in God, you are absolutely correct. Then there is no God.
Right.
If I believe in God, there is a God, because what I think is real. If I think that beautiful mirror behind you is going to open up and a big dragon is going to come out and breathe fire on you, it's there as far as I'm concerned.
So Alice in Wonderland.
I accept what you're saying before, that reality is also what's out there that we can change. That's
Yep. These are the things these are, as I call the spiritual speed bumps that prevent us from being where we want to be. This is the reality of things presented to us, that here in our universe. It shows up in our place. It's I mean, it's the Girl Scout on my porch selling me cookies, right? I mean, I didn't know it was going to happen. She rings the doorbell. That doesn't happen anymore, but but you know what I mean? It's like, okay, there's a Girl Scout with a box of cookies on my porch now. I didn't order this. I didn't attract this. The same thing. I don't know if there's militant if there's horrible people showing up on my doorstep. I didn't ask for that either. I didn't ask for the any of it. It's the reality, and how am I going to deal with it? How am I dealing with that? And so how do I deal with that? With whatever I think, and whatever I think is real in the situation. If I'm thinking that there's something in that person that I don't like about me, it allows me in a healthy way to explore what my stuff is. I always say, hey, deal with your own crap. Why is everybody looking over the fence? If we all took care of our patch of green, everything would be fine. I was blessed to be able to spend time with George Carlin. And one of the things, George said so many great things. And he goes, people, oh, children of the future, children. Well, what if there is no future? What if this is all there is right here and right now? Why don't we try loving the people who are here? Why don't we try doing what we're trying to project onto them, what we want for them? Why don't we actually do it ourselves? And if we did it ourselves right here and right now, those kids are going to be fine. Those kids are going to be just fine, and there will be a future. That's the way I feel about it. So forgive me. I'm
sorry. Next one, forget, or please forgive me.
Yeah, you can do either. You can do either or either. Sounds great. Yeah, but forgive me. Please forgive me. Either way, it's fine. Forgive me. I am asking for forgiveness. What does the divine do? Forgives.
Just by ask and you shall receive.
Yeah.
Just by asking for, and you have to mean it though. I mean, or you don't. Are you?
Well, I'm glad you said that, because a student said once, when I do the prayer, when I say the words, do I have to mean it? And then it hit, I go, absolutely not.
Ah.
Close your eyes, if or just or focus for a second. The words of this prayer, the concept of the prayer that you can break down into one word or one image or something, which is a little advanced, but it's all very natural progression. Just by saying those words, I always say when I introduce someone to it the first time, okay, just stop. Let's just stop right here. Just stop right here. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Run that through your head 3 times right now. If you didn't start off meaning it, you mean it now.
It's like smiling. When you smile, your physiology changes, even if you're.
And and you're so great, Nick. Let's talk about the connection. My thing is, my favorite possession right now is what I call the secret smile. It's just simply walk in and nobody knows why I'm smiling, and it's okay. Just great. Because I got stuff. I got stuff for me. I'm happy about that. That's all part of my choice. Now, meanwhile, back in the prayer, let's go for number 3.
Right. So just to review, I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Thank you.
Thank you for forgiving me and all the things I'm sorry about.
And for everything. Thank you.
Gratitude.
Gratitude, baby. This is pure, sheer gratitude for everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the ability to clean on it, to heal on it, to make it right, to make it better. It's like, yeah, thank you. Oh, just thank you. Oftentimes you could do the whole prayer by just going, thank you, I love you. Thank you, I love you.
I like the sorry forgiveness part.
Oh
as
no,
well.
it is. You see, but this is you can play, and play is what is key to everything. We need to be more playful with everything.
And so the last is the key. The last sentence.
I love you.
I love you.
The most powerful word, thought, intention,
different.
in creation, in existence, in the whole thing. I love you, man. I
Love you. You could say it to yourself, that prayer as well, to your body.
You are doing it. See, that's all part of it. See,
Ah.
that's all part of the healing process of it. Sorry.
But yourself is
Don't
your
be
universe, and yourself is all. So when you're saying "I love you,"
You're saying
I
it.
love you.
I
because
love
you are.
All
I love it all.
love.
I love it all. I was with a group of colleagues, of sort of show business colleagues, and people who we're going to have to talk about magic and real magic and stuff.
Oh, I do want to talk about that. Yes.
We'll have to do
Well,
that one.
I think we should do. How about next Monday? Because actually, we have someone else coming up on our show soon.
Yeah,
but
we have.
like
Look.
next Monday, same time, same place.
I would love to. I
Do,
would
Joe.
I would love to, because we've got stuff, boy. We got stuff we need to.
We have so much stuff, and you're so entertaining and knowledgeable and
He's superb.
and kind. I
Jon
think you're
Superb Stetson.
there. Underneath all that stuff out there, that you really care to help people.
Well, what is so important now, probably always, but is to be genuine, is to be real, and is to be honest. And one of the things that Jojo and I are going to be hatching is me wanting to teach people how to fly.
Okay.
Why, baby? Now, first of all, just this, when I say fly, doesn't it feel good? Don't you feel light? Don't you feel
Well, you're
great?
not telling them. The immediate thought is they're not telling them to jump out a window, are you?
Yes,
Oh,
I am.
it's even
Have faith,
better.
baby. It's better than that,
Okay.
because fly stands for first love yourself.
Oh,
When you learn
nice.
to love the flawed person that you are,
Mm.
once the beatings stop, then you're loving other people. Then you're loving the universe. Then you can love the divine and know that you're worthy and able to accept. And a lot of
Recognize the divine.
the fool. So for people watching, there's a couple things I'd like to say. I
Yes.
have a Facebook group called The Stetson Circle.
VTHE
THE Stetson Circle. I invite people to,
STETSON.
yep, like the hat, or like the young people would say, the smell. Um, the Stetson Circle is a fun and wonderful place
It's great.
to be every day. And the way these affirmations and confirmations come in, I get people every day sending me things. That was for me today, wasn't it? Absolutely, it was.
Yeah.
I didn't know it, but that's the divine design of the whole thing. Absolutely. I also, my website is Jon, Jon is how I spell my name. I removed the H in 1976 to become more aerodynamic. JonStetson.com. Get that. It's wild. And you can see there are links to what I did for a living for so many years, which of course is speaking and just entertaining primarily corporations. And boy, and that's, I have so many years of experience at that. And it's got, but the new website has things that link to Hooponopono, that go to my ladies only psychic party, which is a great event. Which
So fun.
A new
But
thing.
let me just get back to one thing to clear up before we conclude.
Yeah.
Doing those four sentences that Yulin did change the consciousness of the people, and that's the part. I mean, I believe it. I'm just having the mechanics of
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's look at the most useful of all of our intuitive skills. And this is the way I put it in all of my programs, in my reality. If you do not believe in a natural sixth sense, of course, sidebar, then it doesn't exist if you don't believe it. Okay. That's number one. However, if you don't believe in a natural sixth sense, I pray you believe in the other five. And when those five work together in concert, it percolates and either A, creates, or B, what I believe more, wakes up that sleeping sixth sense that we have inside of us. Now, the most useful of our skills, of intuitive skills, if you want to get into this thing here, is psychometry.
Psychometry.
In one basic thing is you're picking up objects and being able to, and just saying what you feel from it energetically, what's gone on. I was primarily raised by my grandparents, and so I was always very respectful with older people. Older people were my friends, and it served me so well in my life because I stand on the shoulders of giants, of my great teachers in mentalism, in magic, in spirituality, in you name it. I would go knock on doors and had doors shut in my face and come back the next day to learn secrets.
Wow. Jon, can we? Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish that.
So, with psychometry, it's this: you ever walk into a room and you get the feeling, wow, this room feels great. I don't know what it is, but this feels good. Conversely, other rooms you walk into, you go, bad juju. bad. I don't know what it is. It feels, or you meet someone and you go, there's something about that person that is not quite right. It turns out you end up being absolutely correct for those things that you feel. Hooponopono cleans and clears like those rooms I said, those dark and ugly rooms. If I'm practicing in that room, if I'm cleaning in that room, it is creating that kind of an energy. That's what the doctor did there.
It's energetic. We are energetic beings.
right.
Thoughts are things.
Mm.
Intention is intention.
Mhm.
Actually affects reality.
Yeah. And the thing I wanted to say about the old folks thing is, my grandmother would take me places, but I behaved. How rare is that for a child? I would behave myself because of the respect that I had, except one place, antique stores.
I'm going to just have Kristen join us for a second, because she's coming up next. But I want you to just, Kristen Johnston, right?
I do. She's
Okay.
magnificent.
And it's actually perfect because John and Kristen have
Oh.
collaborations coming up.
So you could turn on your camera, Kristen, and your
Yeah.
microphone. There you
Hi,
are.
beautiful.
Welcome to the program. We're going to interview Kristen next, but we just wanted to finish with you, John, or not finish because I do want to continue. Can we do
It's
next
basically
week?
last call, and I won't leave the bar, is what it is. But don't
I'm
worry, I'm
flicking
on
the
my way.
lights.
But can
on
we
my
also?
way.
I'm just saying. I'm just setting like an intention. Can we do this same time next Monday as well?
Yeah.
Wherever you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay.
so I was talking, Kristen, about psychometry in general here. You just kind of joined. And when I was little, my grandmother, I was great everywhere. I was well behaved, except in antique stores. I got antsy. I had a fear of antique stores, I guess. I had something, right?
You were sensitive to the energies that were.
I didn't know it. Let's fast forward many years, and I'm in one of these comedy condos. We were talking about the comedy clubs and all the places that I played and I worked back then. I was with my great recently departed buddy Bob Saget, and Bob was there, and he goes, "Hey, what are you doing today?" I said, "No, what's up?" He goes, "Hey, my mom's birthday. I want to go buy her something. Want to come with me?" Oh yeah, yeah. Well, she really digs antiques. No. I got to go into an antique store. I go, well, this doesn't feel good to me. I don't want, and I wasn't going, oh, I'm like going, there's something about it. I don't want to go. Oof. But I'm also realizing, so all my memories are coming up, right? And so now I'm going, I have to go because, as I mentioned before, see the divine design here, how dark we were in those environments. It was almost like who could be the most cruel to someone else.
That was what comedy was about. You're saying
won everybody's respect in those darkened days of yore. So I had to face a fear. I had to be in an uncomfortable situation for me. And then when I walked in, because I'd not been in an antique store for 20 years or something to that point, it was like Aladdin's cave. Everything lit up and everything felt really, really
Did you
good.
do the Hooponopono though?
I was not Hooponoponoing at that point. I was, I was 26. I was a punk. I'm like, whoa, this is cool. So now I go into antique stores and I fondle everything. As I suggest everybody does, because you can feel miraculous, marvelous things. And let yourself go, and you'll be amazed. I like to sometimes do like psychometry parties, and have
Let's do that at Kristen's store one night.
Let's do it. Oh, it's amazing how everything.
Pass around an object, everyone writes it down, then we compare notes.
You do all these things, and people are amazed at their own abilities because it's all so real. It's also very, very real. I sometimes will bring out a series of objects, and one of these objects was involved in not one, but two really dark situations. One was a car accident. It was in the fellow's pocket. It was, what do they call now, everyday carry, I guess is the new term for these things. And then the next I think one of the next person, or maybe the two people down who possessed this thing, this guy was murdered with this thing in his pocket. He was stabbed.
But you didn't want those things, and you cleared it, or did you?
Yeah, I clear, but this is what I do. I put 5 or 6 items out, and I go, okay, to everybody here, which one feels different than the rest? And I don't even say what I don't tell them at that point. I said, does one of these items feel different to you all than the others?
Everyone gets it.
Majority goes to it.
Right. We are all psychic, intuitive, psychokinetic, but can we? So I do want to continue the conversation.
We will. I will double check.
There's infinite amount of knowledge to share, and humor, entertainment, story.
We could have a 24-hour news channel
with just you, John.
Talkathon.
I need you to.
Kristen, do you have anything to say to John about?
Just that I love to see all of us here in this space together. Like,
yes,
people on one Zoom screen.
I think so. I think these are, just for my audience, 3 of my new favorite people, and I hardly know them. No, but they are.
And what I would propose, let's do something the first week, right around our April Fool's Day, because Kristen was talking before about the celebration of the Fool that we're creating. And actually, this marvelous woman, I have so many images and creation of the Fool from the tarot, and leave it to this knucklehead to show me the first image of a woman I've ever seen as the Fool for a deck that she is designing right now. And once again, how we come together, and I'm so Fool oriented.
Well, I'm designing a deck too, and I need some of that information.
So talented.
And Kristen, your deck is brilliant. I really learned a lot from that.
So let's do that, because what it's going to be ultimately is going to be a week-long thing that we're doing virtually. It's going to be shared everywhere with everything to express everything that we love about the Fool and what the Fool really is, and allow us to begin new things, accept new things.
We are all the Fool. Yes.
Present.
Innocent.
Present.
We come in that way.
Foolish. I'm going to go be foolish somewhere else. I've got to.
What do you want to do next Monday at the same time?
Yeah, I'll make sure we can.
Okay, I'm just checking so people can also tune in.
I just got your back. Don't worry.
Okay. Jon Stetson, ladies and gentlemen.
Love you.
I'm about to leave the building, and
Elvis has left the building.
As we spoke earlier, it's been swell, but the swelling's gone down. I am gone for now, but always alive.
But not forgotten. Wait.
Hope not.
I'll be back.
But you could stay there for a second, because I just want to introduce Kristen, because I'm going to stop the stream and restart a whole new show. So when I stop this, Kristen, I want to know what people are tuning into in 5 minutes. So tell us what people are going to be. Well, how would you introduce Kristen?
Well, Kristen came into my life by divine design, and her own journey has been just laced with the most brilliant synchronicity story that I've heard, and really stands out to me. The creation and manifestation of her center, Quantum Health and Wellness, her plant medicine journey, the creation of her new book, Heal the People.
Heal the People. Isn't that it's like a prayer, John. It's like what you were saying. Kristen's book is called Heal the People.
Yes.
It's so
that's what they have to look forward to.
Mm-hmm. And where's your store again, Kristen? What's the location?
Seekonk, Massachusetts.
Right over the border from Rhode Island. It's a beautiful store. So
we're
going to pick up.
Minutes from Providence.
We are going to pick up with Kristen as soon as we say goodbye to John, if that's possible.
The store is in Seekonk, but her territory is planet Earth, and she's thinking of expanding. So, fasten your seatbelts. You're gonna like this.
I am gonna. I like it already. Thank you, Beautiful people. We'll be back. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in on New Realities. Don't forget to subscribe, take out a super chat, say hello, and we'll be back soon with Christian Johnston. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much.